Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Mike Johnson just turned the tables on Dana Bash, who's really expecting him to mess something up when it comes to the Schumer shutdown, and of course, Mike Johnson knocks it out of the park. Let's dive in.
The reality is that this has been a stalemate for 30 days, and it's not just Democrats. You also have one of the most conservative Republican senators, Josh Hawley, who says, at least please move money around to feed people. Why not consider that?
Because if you deviate from the goal of reopening the entire government, Chuck Schumer and the radicals over there will continue to play games with people's paychecks, their livelihoods. And if you do just part of this, it will reduce the pressure for them to do all of it, to do their basic job, and that is reopen the government. This is very real and very serious, and they can end it today. They can do it right now. All they have to do is, we just need 5 more Democrats in the Senate to help us reach the 60-vote threshold. We don't have enough Republicans to do the right thing on our own. We need them to do the right thing.
Does it give you some hope that, regardless of the reason they're doing it, that there are Republicans and Democrats talking to one another right now about finding some way out of this?
Sure. I think they're responding to the public pressure, and we need more of that. If you're listening to this interview, you need to call the Democrat senators and tell them to do the right thing. Also, the unions, the largest unions of federal employees, over 800,000, have come out and said, please, Democrats, stop the nonsense and vote for the clean, nonpartisan CR. It's so important to remember, we don't have any Republican or conservative priorities on the CR. These are Biden-level policies and spending that we're just asking them to extend for several more weeks so we can finish the work of Congress in the appropriations process. That's it. It's all a game so they can show a fight against Republicans. That's clearly what's going on, and they can end it immediately.
So just to put a pin in it, all or nothing, full government funding for the entire government, or you're not going to bring anything up on the House floor, even if the Senate finds some sort of compromise?
Yeah, because they're trying to play games, and we are not interested in doing that. That's the position of the leadership, Republican leadership in the Senate and the House and the White House as well. We have to do well and right by all the American people. Yeah, we need to do it now.
Can I just ask you, because you mentioned that you all have found ways to pay members of the military, which, people understand, and WIC, which people also understand. But why are you drawing the line now on 40 million Americans who literally will not be able to eat without government assistance? Why not help them in the short term? And why are they?
Wait a minute. Yeah. Wait, I reject the premise of the question. I'm not drawing the line. The Democrats are drawing the line. If we had a contingency fund that we could use, that would be done. The White House has demonstrated over and over, the executive branch, all the cabinet secretaries are doing everything they can to mitigate and reduce the pain. But that ability is not available for SNAP because the contingency fund had to be prior authorized by Congress.
Well, they say that that's not what the law shows.
No, well, that's ridiculous.
Certainly the administration has shown that they are very happy to move money around without Congress saying yes.
No, Dennis, they're just simply not true. It's already been adjudicated. When they tried to do that in the first Trump administration, the GAO, for example, determined it was illegal. And the Democrats, when they voted against the Clean CR, they voted down that possibility. So it is not legally available to do that. Believe me, the White House has already demonstrated over and over they would use it if it was available. It's not. The Democrats have put the American people in this crisis, and they are the ones that have the power to end it. They could do it today if they feel enough pressure to do so.
The president is on Air Force One right now. He's headed home. You and other Republican leaders, I think it's fair to say, have been, okay with him not getting very involved. But is it now time for him to sit down with you and other leaders and try to work this out? Will there be a meeting, forgive me, in the next few days now that he's going to be back?
Well, let me correct that question as well. The president was deeply involved. Remember, he brought in the Democrat leaders and to meet with us in the White House, in the Oval Office, before all this began. And he urged Schumer and Hakeem to keep the government open, and they rejected it. The president has been involved, and he has told them that he will talk about any issue under the sun as soon as they do the obvious thing to reopen the government first. That is our job here. We're going to wrestle over all these policy questions.
He could make a deal on this in 5 minutes.
He can't. There's no deal to be made. Remember, the CR does not have Trump or Republican priorities on it at all. There's nothing we can pull off of that to make it more palatable for the Democrats. I would have done that a long time ago. But we operated in good faith from day one. Back in September, on September 19th, we voted for a clean, nonpartisan CR. It's only 24 pages in length. It just says keep everything at status quo so we can all finish our jobs here. The Democrats rejected it for the first time in their lives. They did the same type of CR, voted for it 13 times during the Biden administration. The only reason they did it right now is because they're afraid of the rise of the far-left Marxists in their party, and they have to show them that they're going to fight. And real people are hurting during this political game, this showmanship. Chuck Schumer's trying to save his own political hide in New York, and he's willing to put the American people through this great hardship for that reason alone, and it is shocking to us.
The reality that Mike Johnson just spelled out is that the real reason that Chuck Schumer is pulling this stunt, okay? He couldn't pull this stunt back when the big beautiful bill was originally passed. He can pull this stunt now. And it's because the internals from his own party are saying you have to fight Trump harder. And so we really need to dig into that. Why is this happening? Why is it that there's this phenomenon amongst the Democrat Party that they think that they need to fight Trump harder? They've already tried to throw him in jail. They tried to arrest his lawyers. They went through his underwear and sock drawer at Mar-a-Lago. They've bugged his campaign. Remember, it wasn't Joe Biden that did that. That was the first go around under President Barack Obama. They set up a dossier lying about his business ventures in Russia, and then leaked it to the rest of the press, who ate it up without ever thinking twice about it. These were the same people that say we need to have law and order, and yet were silent during the summer of love, who have had to walk back all of their comments about defunding the police. And now, for some insane reason, the people that think the Democrats haven't gone far enough are now putting Democrats' feet to the fire, saying you need to do more crazy, insane, anti-constitutional, anti-American things. This is insane, ladies and gentlemen. And Mike Johnson's holding the line here, talking about the shutdown. But again, the problem is never the problem. The issue is never the issue. The Democrat Party is caught between a rock and a hard place. They have enabled their left wing for the better part of 2 decades. Because I remember the left wing starting to rise back in the early 2000s. And it was the punk rock movement, the Dixie Chicks, the same people who said, hey, what's in our food? Hey, these foreign wars are really dumb. And hey, maybe we're over-consuming things. If that sounds like a modern MAGA Republican, you'd be right. So what happened? This is what I think is really happening. It's not the fact that the Democrats are mad. Did you notice the main makeup of the No Kings ralliers, the No Kings protesters? Did you happen to notice that they were mostly old white women? Or, as I like to call them, affluent, wealthy, female urban liberals. Awfuls. And they are indeed awful people. They're awful to talk to, awful to deal with. They're obnoxious. They're mean. I was at a No Kings rally the other week, and I did my own personal head count. I was at the Johnson Ferry and Roswell Street No Kings rally. There was about 4,000 people there. Of that 4,000, only 400 were between the ages of 18 and 45. 400 out of about 4,000. That is absurdly low. That tells me that the Democrat Party is coming apart at the seams because they've been catering to rich white liberals. Yes, this is the same talking point, but that's the truth. They've been catering to rich white liberals who have been so used to the system created basically after World War II of this system actually working. They have failed to maintain it. They failed to upkeep it. And now it's unraveling in front of their very eyes. And instead of reforming, instead of saying, hey, we need to upgrade, they're instead deciding to defend the system tooth and nail, like some old Byzantine sect of politicians who could not accept the fact that their empire was slowly decaying and did nothing to stop the issues, did nothing to address the issues. Because if they did, deep down, this is another one of the real reasons. It'd be an admission that they screwed up. And they do not want to take accountability. They do not want to admit that they were wrong. They do not want to reform what they have screwed up. And now we are spiraling into a debt control problem. If you want to know how bad the economy is to some degree, and I know we've been hyping up certain things, but there's something fundamentally wrong with our culture as a whole. Chipotle, the burrito company, lost 16% of its stock value overnight, last night, as of this filming. And it's because their CEO basically admitted that we're not getting young people in. And I can attest to this. Despite having a very successful YouTube channel, I'm starting to have to cut back on going out to eat, which isn't a bad thing. That says that the era of the easy money is over, and what Trump is trying to do is extract more wealth from areas that haven't been tried before. That's why I defend the tariffs for the most part. There are some downsides, but I defend them. I defend them because we can't tax ourselves anymore. That will cause the entire system to collapse even faster. So we're trying something else. We're reforming. We're trying to do better things, and the rich white liberals don't want it to happen. And it's the young Democrats now who are espousing all of that fear and anguish, and their decision is to move further to the left. If you think politics is crazy now, it's going to get weirder. Chuck Schumer knows this, and he's trying to get ahead of a problem, but instead, he's creating a huge mess that's about to come to a crashing head here soon. When those SNAP benefits end, they end in just a couple of days, we are about to see something truly, I think, catastrophic. So we're either going to get a huge deal in the next 48 hours, or we're going to start seeing some major problems. So strap in, folks. It's going to be a weird one. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed the segment here on Politibrawl. And again, Mike Johnson keeps on telling the truth. He is not getting moved off his spot. I know I went on a tangent on this one. I did that on purpose because I am a little bit worried about what's coming. But so far, the reformers are in power right now, and the Democrats don't like it. So that's the good news. But anyways, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hey, if you want to join us Politibrawlers, consider becoming members. For a couple of bucks a month, you will get special content catered directly to what y'all want to see out of us. Remember, I might be a flashy center fielder, but I've got great starting pictures behind me in the editing and producing team. They do fantastic work, and it would go a long way to help keeping this channel up and running. So if you feel led, become a member. Until next time, y'all have a good one.